afternoon, colleagues. Please excuse my nervousness. This is all new to me. So, really, I'd like to thank Mr. Zoubir for giving me this opportunity to present my portfolio with you today and share some ideas, also benefit from your experiences, etc. So, I'm really pleased to be among you here. Well, since some of you, or the majority of you, already have the electronic e-portfolio, so I'm not getting into details, so I'll just give an overview, quick. So normally, this is my e-portfolio, and one thing that is not on the screen is the heading. Normally, it's horizontal. Okay, because there are two, the use of the computer is different from the use of the mobile phone. So also here, this is the use of mobile phone. So normally the headings, they are seen, okay, they are horizontal. Alright, so the first rubric that I have here is home. So of course in home you have, of course, an introduction about yourself, and then you have a description, a general description of your portfolio. Alright, and also you have your buttons so that you don't have to go back to the menu. You can just click on the button and it takes you to the next page. Here you have my teaching philosophy, or the teaching philosophy statement. So I'll skip this because I need to clarify some things about it. So I skip it, move to the other, give an overview of the whole A portfolio, and then go back to my teaching philosophy. So the next rubric here, you have your resume. So you can include your CV if you like, or any information about yourself. And by the way, so I didn't introduce the platform, which is Weebly. So I think all the platforms are the same. It's just a matter of choice. I choose this platform because I think it is simple and it is easy to use. For instance, you can create your the whole e-portfolio. You can create it in 5 minutes. So yeah, move on to the next rubric that I have here is my work. So you have other sub pages. First, for instance, we have my students' contributions. Here you can we can talk about the benefits that you get behind or of having an e-portfolio. Because you can show, since we say that nobody can get into your classroom to see what you are doing. And the e-portfolio can give you the opportunity to come out to the world and tell people what you are doing. Well, in the first rubric, you have my students' contributions. So you can add any projects that you have with your students. You can post them here. For instance, these are some examples of my students' posters in different topics. It depends on the theme of the unit that we are having. You can add other things. For instance, I'm engaged in letters exchange program, pen paling with some teachers from Wulitema, so locally, and also internationally. I'll show you the pictures. So you can also include these letters and mention your project. Here are some examples or samples of my students' productions. Yeah, same thing here. You don't have to go back to the main menu. You just click here. It takes you to my classroom activities. Okay, so as you see here, the Weebly offers you plenty of choices and a lot of, you can say, applications that you can use. Slides like this, you see, This is, for instance, research done by my students. These are different projects that my students work on in the classroom. For instance, it depends on the unit of that we are studying. So we have different pictures, all the activities, also games, role plays. And also these are some of the competitions we had in our school. It's a public competition, public speaking competition last year. And on the right, this is just this year, we had a debate, women, women's rights. It's a debate between the boys and girls. So boys are saying that the women should stay at home, and ladies saying that they should work, etc. So it was an interesting activity. Well, this is, I'd like to talk about something here. Having my students in my e-portfolio. Actually, I shared it with my students. Two most important things to be known or to know about an e-portfolio is that it is very motivational for both, for me as a teacher and also for my students. For me as a teacher, because every time, an e-portfolio needs always to be updated. So I need to work to find activities, innovate things so that I can post them in my e-portfolio. So it is a motive for me to work. And also for my students. When my students saw their pictures on the internet in general, of course with their permission, I took their permission and my headmaster's permission. So as long as it is educational, so it's not a big deal. Well, so they all wanted to get engaged in these activities. So they come up with ideas. For instance, the sketch here, I didn't plan it, I didn't ask them to do it, but they went, prepared it, and then wanted or suggested to play it, and I gave them the opportunity. It was nice, it was funny, I liked it, so I asked them to do it in front of another class, and then I took pictures and posted it in my e-portfolio. So here it is, as I said, very motivational in the e-portfolio. Yeah, another rubric in my activities is my school activities. In elementary, we have an English club. So this is just last week. We had a public speaking activity, and these are the posters normally we had before. We have the program of the club, and also the details of the competition. And these are pictures from the public speaking we had. Yeah, so it offers you it gives you the opportunity to, you can say, present everything, all your work. My last point here in my school activities, or my work, is international partnership. So talking about pen paling, I had a project with an international, you could say, some teachers from Greece.
Anatoly. Maria.
There are a lot of things.
because I received an email from a teacher I know. She told me that she is collaborating with you. And I met you by chance.
Such a small world.
That's it.
Mohamed lives in the blue world.
Great. That's interesting. Okay. So actually I have...
I have just told Rashid that he will show us in international...
About Greece.
About Greece.
All right. Okay, so yeah. These are some pictures. These are Greek students receiving our postcards and letters, and they're really excited about these. And even some of them in their responses said that they wish to visit Morocco one day. And also the teachers, they are asking about the offers to visit. And one of them, because I have contact with 3 teachers, so one of them has already booked in October to visit my...
No, because a teacher who is my friend maybe on Facebook for 7 or 6 years, she wrote to me a message telling me, do you know Mohamed? Already told her no. I thought Hamid, I searched about this, I know him, but you, I don't know you. Okay, so she said, I told her, is it Hamid? She told me, no, it's Mohamed. Okay, so nice to meet you today. Okay?
It's my pleasure. All right, so these are some pictures, and it's really motivating. The teachers are really motivated about this. Also, they're telling their friends, and also we have a school Facebook page of the school. So all the students want to participate, asking me to find them pen pals. But unfortunately, the classes there, they have just 15 to 20 students, while we have
30, 40
classes. So you can't have.
So one class should work with 2 schools.
That's what they do. Okay, so yeah, and even if I don't have pen pals for the students, I ask them to write all, and I say, just write, I'll see with the teacher. I know that there are no problem. That there is no pen pal, but I motivate them to write, and they really write. Yeah, if you see here, these are other students from another teacher. You see, also my students also had like pictures and also some souvenirs, as you see.
Postcard.
So yeah. So in general, this is really, it's worth giving a shot. Okay, you know, now in the internet there are plenty of teachers forums and also pages. You can find a lot of people willing to start a project with you if you like. Yeah, I have also, getting back to my portfolio, we have a teacher's corner. In teacher's corner, I opted for having a page for documents. So for teachers can have different documents here, guidelines, anything that is related to teaching in general, especially for novice teachers. You can find a lot of documents here. Yeah, I'm going to download this. This is normally a document about my teaching philosophy that I said. So here, this document can, for those who are interested in writing their own philosophy, I understand. It's something, when I made a little research, I found that it's a little bit problematic for the teachers of all the world. They have a problem. They kind of, when you hear teaching philosophy, it's kind of a scary word when you have philosophy. But you can change it, actually. Change or modify or paraphrase the word and make it reflections on my personal approach to teaching and learning. We all have an approach. Whether you know it or not, you have. Yeah, you know, you have. We deal with different situations in our classrooms, so you have a lot of difficulties. How do you get to overcome or surpass these difficulties? And what are your goals behind teaching? How your relationship with your students? All of these information can help you write your teaching philosophy. Here in this document, you will find even some questions that are, you just answer the questions. Okay, and then you make all these answers, you can put them into paragraphs, and then you say, this is my teaching philosophy. And with the e-portfolio, every time, after 1 week or 2, you just read it again, you can modify things. Okay, so because it's always changing. Also, if you have learned a new approach, or you change, or new style or strategies of teaching, you might change again your philosophy.
Yeah. Is it possible to have an access to your...
Yeah, it's accessible to everyone.
So you're going to get the links, right?
Just not to scare teachers for philosophy. Just what is teaching for me.
That's it. That's it. So because I said when I searched, I found that even like it's a fear of all the teachers of the world. But as long as you need just the first step, just when you say I will write a teaching philosophy, and then you are going to write it. Believe me.
No, if the teacher doesn't know his teaching philosophy, he must be scared.
Reason to be scared.
Very simple. I mean, we should know where we're going.
Yeah, I agree with you. But still, it is sometimes we have, but we are not aware of it. There are some things that we do implicitly. It's common sense sometimes. We even teach. You are going to find this in my teaching philosophy. When I started as a teacher, I didn't have any training. So from the university straight to the classroom. So yeah, so here if you ask me about how did I manage to teach, like especially for the 4 first years, without any pedagogical or academic training, you would be surprised, because I just follow my common sense. I do what I think is right. This is a philosophy, but I don't know. If you ask me to write it, I cannot.
This will help you to bring it from the unconscious side to the conscious side.
Yeah, that's it. So just make what is implicit, make it explicit. Okay, but it needs, it needs a little bit of work, but it's okay. All right, another. I'm sorry for wasting time.
No.
It's okay.
Well, enjoy it.
That's interesting.
Because I made this clear to my supervisor. I said that it's going to take a bit of time. Anyway, so another symbols of my lesson plans. Also, you can find here lesson plans. Especially for those who are interested in changing or developing their approaches. You have some examples of PPP, which is already we all know, and also some from ICRIF. This is a new approach or new framework, quite similar to PPP. Just anyway. So we have some examples there to take, if you like to take a look at them. This is also some pictures. These are some pictures from my record book.
This one is good for lazy teachers.
Yes.
Lazy, it's also for novice teachers, because I have a lot of teachers coming to my class. I mentor teachers. Also, because I have the master applied linguistics and language studies, and my classmates, most of them went for teaching. So this is like first or second year for them teaching. So they always ask me about the record book and also lesson plan. So this is good for them and for all novice teachers to follow the same format.
But even for seasoned teachers, you can see something different. Maybe if you like it, you can adopt it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. All right, and then I have also here another page for professional development. So teachers who are interested, they must professional development. So here there is a book, Why Professional Development Matters. If you just click on it, and then you have the book in your computer, or even you can read it just from here. As I said, there are many applications that are offered by Weebly, so you can read it just from here. Okay. You see here, you read here. And you have a video also talking about professional development. These are, if you click on any side statement here, titles, it takes you to another website. For example, professional development activities for teachers, and here you have also 23 professional development tools for teachers, etc. Yeah.
Can I have a question? Can I ask you?
Yeah.
How much time does it take to create your own?
Okay, to create it takes less than 5 minutes. But to
Upload.
to
Come up with all.
Yeah, you cannot do this. You cannot do it in one shot. Example, say this week I am going to focus on.
It is a process, not a product.
Process. Yeah, it's about the product. And even what you see here, maybe maybe next year we'll find different things, because it's every week you update, you add, you exchange, you change, etc. And even the ideas, I benefited a lot from the posts, especially of professional development, because I have e-learning and educational technology from the posts that Mr. Zoubir always posts. Yeah, I have here student corner. This is.
Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to inform you that we're videotaping the presentations.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're watching the video, you may have some side conversation in Arabic, but not the presentation.
All right. So here I have also a student corner. This is what I'm going to work on in the coming days. So I'm not satisfied with the content. I have just some courses for students, especially the second baccalaureate students. I still have, I haven't decided about the content yet. Here I just have some websites that help the students prepare for the national exam. Here we have some, you could say, lessons, especially grammar lessons. So you click on the button and it takes you to the website straight. I also included here educational technology. In my master, we had a course called educational technology. So the lessons and what I studied there and my reflections on the course, I put them here. So there's a lot of things to be. For those who are interested, you can just get in. You are going to benefit a lot of things. And then also I have e-learning. This is, I was surprised because everything that you have here is already mentioned inside. So I'm sorry. So for any e-learning tool, you just get in. You have a definition. You have examples, and also you have the you can say applications. You just click on the application, for instance, and it takes you to the you can say the website. Yes, to the platform. So I have a lot of interesting things here in e-learning. For mobile, for instance, mobile learning, we have here mobile apps and digital dictionaries. Since you have already gone through this one, so let's see some examples. You have Google Classroom, you have Duolingo. So everyone here, if you just click, for instance, on Google Classroom, takes you straight to the to the platform. Because I already have. So it is mine. All right. Anyway, so. Again, here you have MOOCs. I have what is MOOCs, by example, and you can say websites where you can take courses. And even if you want to take a course, just click and it takes you straight to different courses. Also, my reflections on the courses that I have taken. Proficiency test. If you want to take a proficiency test, also you have examples here. My experience, because I have taken it. You have definitions on types. Here you have examples. TOEFL, for instance, you have, this is, TOEFL is it's not free. So here, if maybe you can take a free professional test and also get a certificate if you like. Okay, right on those spot. I think
Before you start, I'd like you please to go back. Just remind them of the main contents.
The main contents, as I said.
No, sorry, for the teaching philosophy. Remember, the document.
Okay, so teaching philosophy, it's here.
The document.
Okay, the document is in here. So
It's in document.
I remember when I was talking to Elouardi, I insisted that many of you have already had sort of outline of your portfolio, some have created the basics of it, but many of you have said we don't know exactly what to write for teaching philosophy. That's why I asked him to insist on that.
Teacher corner.
It will take me, sorry?
It's in teacher corner.
Yeah, but when I download it, there is a problem in data show. It's not going to. I did sometimes. So anyway, in this document you have steps to follow if you want to write your teaching philosophy, and there are, as I said, questions. These questions you'll find their answers here. So it's because I followed the same template. So we are going to have the first question there, I guess. What's your approach, or what do you think about, what do you believe about teaching? So this is my answer. You need to provide examples from your classroom, from your, you shouldn't just give vague or empty statements. You need to give examples. You need to talk about your goals behind teaching, what do you want your students to achieve by the end of their school, etc. So there are a lot of examples. You can, when you have time, you can read this. my ultimate goal. You have what also, yeah, your reflection. What do you like best about teaching? You can even mention what you don't like, and also you can talk about the things you have learned. Because we are teachers, but the best way of learning is by teaching. So, yeah. So the documents can provide you with all the necessary information to write your own teaching philosophy. I guess that's it for me. Thank you very much for